How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Going Medieval. I certainly hope you're having a good one because I am excited to be back in the fort of Thatcham, where things are going pretty darn well indeed. It's been a minute since the last episode, and it's been a minute since I last played this, but let me tell you something. I've made some changes. You can see some of them already. I've gone ahead and started laying out a road right through the middle of everywhere, but there's a bit of a substantial change that has been made around the fort. I've sort of dug what is essentially a moat, and it's actually kind of useful. It goes the entire way around everything that we've built, and I'm slowly laying out some of these clay bricks around it because those give 120% movement speed. And basically it keeps bad guys out. It funnels bad guys to the bridges, which means we can just set archers like here, which I have done, and we just kill everybody. It's kind of nice. It kind of works really, really well. I also figured we could use this space out here for growing some crops, which is also what we're doing. And just generally, I've been kind of busy, just, you know, mining all of this out and hoping that everybody's going to stop being miserable. We have had this alert for food reserves on stockpile being low for a little while, and that does have me, I'll be honest, quite concerned. To say that I'm not would be a bit of a lie, but I'm hoping that we can fix it. It is the middle of spring. We have a lot of crops being planted here in these new fields, which are going to be beets and carrots and cabbages and herbs and barley and then red currant as well. So we have the potential for a lot of food here and in here as well. I'm keeping these fields for now. It's just a case of whether or not this is actually going to work out. That's going to be the thing to figure out, isn't it? Whether or not, you know, we get this all growing in a good amount of time or not. Now, something else I've gone ahead and done is I've gone in and set a limit on the number of Chronicles that we can have at any one time so that we can really focus in on textbooks, because I do want to get this research done and we can actually go in and get swords. So we'll get ourselves a few of those going, and that should free up some space for Chronicles, which means we will see people go and research Chronicles as well, but that's fine. I'm not really too worried about that. I think my main focus at this point, to be completely honest, is largely gonna be on food. Now, you might have already noticed that we do have a few new settlers here, which is kind of lovely. It's good to have. They've been kind of useful in some of the fights, although I think they're both... no, one of them is melee. I don't think you're particularly good at melee. It is a flimsy wooden spear. What can we give you? What can we give you that's better? We got a fine wooden spear right there. Hold on, where's your equipment? How does it do? 2.5 DPS. Do we only have fine? Oh, we got superior. Okay, 4.62. I feel like we'll go for the superior one. So go and equip that. And then I'm not sure if you're even wearing any... You're wearing a flimsy leather... You could be wearing better gear, but we'll just kind of leave you as is for now with the slightly better spear. And we'll hope that that works out. Now, something that has been annoying me about this game a little bit while I've been playing it has actually been getting people to go and sleep. Because you'll notice most of everybody has gone to sleep, right? 8 o'clock is bedtime. It's currently 9, and we have Anwind going and getting resources. So I'm going to have to recruit you and say, you know, don't do that. Dulcia, recruit, then unrecruit. And those two will now go and sleep. If I don't stay on top of that, then they end up staying up through the night. They don't end up going to sleep. And they end up passing out every 10 seconds throughout the next day. And it ends up getting really annoying because the game keeps just pinging you and pinging you and pinging you. So when they pass out, it pings you. When they wake up, it pings you because they're exhausted. And then they pass out and it pings you. It's a little annoying. I have some things. I have some things that I would like to see this game do. I would like to see the game have the option to tell someone to go and rest, right? Obviously, they have their schedule, which I've adjusted to give them more free time during the day, by the way. But I would like to have the option to basically click on somebody, so whoever this is, Jeffrey, and then right-click a bed, and instead of it just being, you know, deconstruct, I would like the option to be able to say, hey, man, ignore your schedule and go sleep until rested, right? And then if that leads into their sleep time, they just stay asleep until sleep time is over. It would be a really nice option to have. I think it would solve a lot of problems. I am not entirely sure why the game doesn't have that option in there, but it's whatever. You know, I am not a game designer. I don't know how these things work, so there's probably a good reason for it. Anyway, what I do want to do is I want to go in here and say mine out all of this and mine out all of this, because there is some limestone down there and we do happen to need a bit of limestone. So we'll have a good few people coming over to do that, because the mining job is still priority 1 for a lot of people. Not everybody, but a lot of people have mining as priority 1. And I mean, you can see there's 4 of them here already, so there's a 5th one coming over. So we'll get this done. We'll get a bit of extra limestone. That'll hopefully be enough to let us finish this road, which again, limestone brick, much like clay brick, is 120% movement speed. So they can move faster on this, which again is why I'm putting it around the perimeter. Because it means that if we have enemies coming in, we can move a little bit faster along the perimeter than the enemies can. So I think that'll work out. I think that's probably a pretty good idea. And hopefully it does work out. Now, in terms of what I'd like to do today, I want to come back to something I'd mentioned before, which was the idea of turning this entire thing into one big building. I still like the idea of doing that. And I realized if I went in here and selected all these roof pieces, I could say, you know, demolish them and then build just floor over the top of all of this and then start building buildings on top of all of this again. We would have some. Obviously, these guys will then become sort of weird looking buildings. I think it would be interesting, though. I do think it would be interesting to sort of enclose this entire thing. I don't know how worthwhile it is. And obviously, that would just mean that for now, everybody will be underground. And truth be told, 1, I dread to think how much wood that would take. 2, I wouldn't really want to build out of wood anyway, but we don't have much of a choice. And 3, it would be a lot of supports. It would be a mess. It really would. And we'd have people complaining about sleeping out, without actually having a roof over their heads. So we're not going to worry too much about it for at least now. I think, as I'd mentioned before, I think that idea is probably going to be something we do in a future series on this game. I just don't see it happening in this one. I just don't. So that's kind of where we're at with regards to construction. I want to do it. I do. I just don't see it happening. And then beyond that, to be completely honest, the game has just essentially become, wait until you have the research that you need. I mean, at this point, it's what? Chemistry? It's not even chemistry. At this point, it's research 3. And so that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things left to research. It's going to be a case of making those things, potentially giving it to our people, and then just surviving. So if we can sort out this food situation, which I'm hopeful that we can, we're golden. We're done. We've beat the game in its current state. It's obviously just a survive into, forever, basically. So that is kind of exciting. I had mentioned before that the game doesn't really have an end game, and it doesn't. I still stand by that. I don't think the game does have an end game. In the way that, and I've mentioned, people keep saying, man, you keep talking about RimWorld, when are you going to play it? I think I've already mentioned that I'm going to. But RimWorld does have that end game. There is sort of a thing to strive for. And I might be a little biased, and as someone that has rarely finished officially any of the series started on his YouTube channel, it might be ironic that I prefer a game to have an objective. It's also ironic considering that City Skylines doesn't really have an objective. But I like it when these kinds of games do. even if it's going to take me 50 hours per save or 100 hours per save or longer, having that little bit of direction is nice. With this game, it's like, hey, you've got this direction to start with, but eventually, what do you do? I don't know. So, again, as I've said before, I'm curious to see where this game goes. I'm curious to see if it does end up with a some degree of end game or some kind of progression that then leads you into that state of, okay, you've beat everything there is to do, now survive. Because I feel like I've more or less beat everything there is to do. It's just that everything there is to do was just stand by and research stuff. So, I'm not being critical either. Again, as I've said before, the game's in early access. That's okay. And it's, again, going to give me reason to come back to this game in the future. So, absolutely not criticizing. Absolutely not. I am keen to see where this goes. I'm keen to see what it does. That's just my opinion on where it is right now. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see how everybody does with surviving. We've also not been attacked recently. I should probably mention that as well. So, very distinct possibility that we are probably due an attack sometime soon. That is, I feel, kind of likely. And I'm also feeling like that staircase is going to do us a lot of favors because a lot of the limestone in this place is down there and out of reach. So getting all of that is going to be lovely, since it's going to mean that we can turn it into bricks, finish the road, 120% movement speed up and down there. I can't help but feel that that's going to be nice. And I can't help but feel that I should actually go in here, go to limestone block floor, and do it in here as well. So right about there, and then bring it through here as well so that the two sets of like road actually connect. That seems like it would make sense, even though, you know, it doesn't quite, you know, cap off here or go those directions. I think that's fine, because this will at the very least give us... Actually, I guess we could surround that building a little bit with it, couldn't we? We could do something like that. And I guess we could do something like that. And then go in with a bit of clay brick and cap it there. And cap it right about there. And I guess it would also be capped off here and here as well. And I guess technically in here. And then technically down this entire side. So might as well do all that just to nicely enclose the paths. And I think that'll look okay. I think the bonus movement speed is going to be a major plus from that. Again, if we get attacked, it means that we're going to be able to get about that a little bit quicker. And honestly, I don't think I've been attacked. I don't think we've been raided since we finished the moat. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. Now, Baudry is ravenous right now. Now, if I unrecruit you, you're going to go get food. That's another thing that I've seen happening, right? I keep seeing them go and do things rather than eat. And it's really frustrating. It's really, really frustrating to see them go and do, you know, anything other than eat. And apparently, so Baudry's exhausted as well. So Baudry hasn't slept for whatever reason. So we're going to get pinged constantly throughout this day that Baudry is tired and Baudry's going to pass out, fall unconscious, blah, 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 blah. Man, why didn't you just sleep? Why, Baudry? Why wouldn't, there you go. Why wouldn't you just sleep, man? I don't need these pings constantly. I know he's tired. I've looked at the thing. I saw the pop-up. I know how the game works. Oh God, here we go. Where is he? There we go. So yeah, this pinging is going to happen for the next. There, he's exhausted. He's exhausted, and he's unconscious. Oh, here it is. We're being attacked. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna need to grab everybody, and we're gonna need to figure out. So they're over here, right? Now, this is actually a good place for them to be, because this is our most inaccessible part of the fort. There is no entrance on this side behind the manor. So these guys are going to have to come over this way, most likely, which means if I go and grab everybody, and this is another suggestion I have for the game, by the way. This is just, I'm not trying to be critical. I'm really not. But another suggestion would absolutely be a button to select everybody. If it exists already, I don't know what it is. I've looked in the keybinds and I wasn't able to find it. So if it does exist already, I apologize. I wasn't aware of that. But yeah, I think if it doesn't exist, and I am right in my assumption here, definitely needs one. Now let's get all my archers lined. That's not an archer. Let's get you back a little bit. You were an archer. You go stand there. Are they coming this way? They are. Good. So if this works out the way I'm hoping it will, we aren't really going to be too bothered by these guys attacking us here. That's assuming it works out the way I'm hoping it will. So you are an archer as well. You are also an archer, so go there. So all my archers are in line. Let me grab you guys and move you sort of back there. And now I grab my archers, and we're going to focus on each person as they go by. And we should be able to drop them pretty quickly. Oh dear. We're not dropping them quickly at all. Okay, that one's down. And you? Keep in mind, we are really vulnerable here. So this is not necessarily ideal for us. In fact, a lot of these guys are actually getting across here. So now what we can maybe do is focus on you and try and just slow them down a little bit, because these guys can deal with one at a time, I think. Yeah, so you're done. You're probably gonna be done. And Wind is taking damage. Let's just sort of fall back a little bit. Deal with you. How are you guys doing? Some of you are pretty badly injured right now. We can probably deal with that over on that side. Let's try and take these guys down before we start losing people. So you're done. You're pretty badly injured, so let's focus you. I don't like autosaves. Okay, you're done. And let's focus you as well. This might push them back, actually. If we, yeah, there we go. So 14 of them are dead. That's fine. We can grab you guys, and I think we're probably good. So I don't think any of our guys went down. I think everybody did survive. And that's what I like about this setup. Now, this is just phase 1 of my moat. This is not like the end game of the moat. The reason we have these big cutaways in the corners is because I absolutely want to go ahead and build towers in those spaces so that we can better defend all of this, so that we can have our archers raised up on platforms and stuff like that. I'm also considering building some sort of platforms near these entrances so we can fire down into them. I think that would be cool as well. But we'll see. The good news is we won. The bad news is that everybody's going to be really sleepy because they did not get much sleep last night. So, yeah, they're all going to be up and about. They have wounds needing tended to. Some of them are going to convalesce. I doubt many of them are. That's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal that they're going to be running around and real friggin' grumpy today. You know, as grim as this might be, my settlers actually went ahead and burned these bodies of their own accord. So that means that we have people dedicated to hauling. Yeah, there we go. You are just hauling. That's good. That's actually going to keep them relatively happy because they're not going to be complaining about seeing bodies all the time if they happen to run out the northern end of town. So good. Hopefully they stay relatively happy and considerably less miserable. Now, one thing I do have to look at is, and one thing I notice, is that we have a good number of people who are not really producing anything right now in terms of crafting. So I have to wonder, I mean, what do you do? Tailoring, smithing. Let's have Dulcia come up to priority 1 crafting. And I don't know that I want everybody doing crafting, but I do feel like some of them. Obviously, we do need to make sure that a few people are also cooking. That was kind of a big issue for a little bit there. And a lot of the people that are cooking also do construction. So every time materials become available, they're going to prioritize that. Speaking of construction, anybody doing it that should be sleeping? Doesn't look like it. So everybody is getting a night's sleep tonight, which is great news. It means I'm not going to be getting bombarded with pings all day tomorrow. So no complaints. It's like having a virtual pet. It is a little bit. It's weird. I don't think I've played another. I really enjoy this game. This is all from the heart. This is all like. I'm trying to not criticize. This sounds so critical. It really does. I'm sorry. This genuinely. I am not trying to just constantly complain about this game. It is a little bit like having a virtual pet though, and there's not really another management game that I've played that's as sort of. I mean, I can't complain about it being hands-on, can I? Having a game that's a little bit hands-on is good, but what I mean is. Having to make sure that they're asleep. It's like having a virtual pet or a kid or something like that. You know, it's like make sure that they're sleeping. You know, make sure they're not up at night running around, you know, doing other things instead of sleeping. You know, make sure to take the batteries out of the Game Boy before you put them down to bed. Otherwise, they're going to be playing the thing under the covers. Like it's 19... When did the Game Boy come out? Why is that my go-to reference for a kid not going to sleep? I'm not old enough to make that I had a Game Boy, but I'm not like, I don't think I'm old enough to make that reference. Don't get me wrong. I did do that. I had, I had a Game Boy. I had, what ones did I have? I had a Game Boy. I didn't have the Game Boy Color. My neighbors did though, so I played it all the time there. I had a Game Boy Advance, which was kind of cool. And I remember my neighbor had the cable for multiplayer because we all had Mario Kart. And we were all like, oh man, we should get like the because you had to plug that was like a cable that was like, it was like a 1 to 4 or 1 to like 3 cable. So the one end goes into like the host Game Boy, and then the 3 ends that come out the other end go into like the other players. So you would like plug it in, and you'd have to like sit in a circle with your Game Boys to play multiplayer Mario Kart. And we were like, oh, I want to get the multiplayer cable. And it's like, well, I'm going to get it like tomorrow, so we don't all need to get one. And yeah, we just. So I had that one. I don't think, I never had like a Nintendo DS. I've never had one. I did have a PSP. I don't know why this has turned into, let's talk about the portable consoles that I've had, but yeah, I had a PSP. Never had a PlayStation Vita. I think it was Vita, wasn't it? VITA? Or is that, no, that's not an operating system's Vista, right? Never had Windows Vista either. But, yeah, enough about, I don't know what that, there you go. You're welcome. What are you doing? Are you going to bed? You are. Okay, you're going to bed a little bit late, so you're probably going to complain about being tired tomorrow. See, this is what I mean. Instead of going to bed, you're up until near midnight playing Mario Kart on your Game Boy. Or in your case, making food. Actually, brewing. I probably can't complain too much about brewing, can I? Even if it is just vinegar. Although, wait, what are you making here? What is it? Wine. Okay. So that will cheer them up. We should move all of this out of here, now that I think about it. We have a lot of room to build things in. We should make like a brewery. Oh, we really should make a brewery. I want to make a brewery. Is there like a room? Do they go in like a workshop or something? Is that a workshop? Can I put, it doesn't look like any of this is going to be a brewery. Church, oak, bedroom, shared bedroom, great hall, spare room, kitchen. Stove. Must have a stove. Must have pottery shelves and butchering table. Okay, so what counts as a stove? Does this thing count as a stove? Limestone block fireplace. I have no, I don't know if it counts as a stove or not. It's fine. We'll build a thing down here. I do want to build a brewery. I'm thinking here is kind of a cool spot for it. So let's, do I want to build out of limestone? I kind of do. I kind of don't. Because we don't really have that much limestone. And this is just limestone as well. This isn't even limestone bricks. But I think just lime. So I built this out of just limestone. And I think it looks really cool. So let's do like a stone wall. And I'm going to do like a double height one just because I can. And let's do some windows on it. So there and there. And then I can sort of go and do in the middle as well. I don't know. I don't know if we need to do this, but I'm going to do this. And that'll be fine. Then, yeah, I've got no idea what I'm doing with this building. I'm going to be honest. I like this as like an idea for like a feature wall, though. I think that's kind of cool. And I think putting on top of it some limestone merlins would actually be kind of a cool idea as well. So it looks sort of castle-like from this side. It's going to be a very, very stylish building. So we'll do that sort of thing. And then what I can do is we'll come in and we're going to just use wood because we have a lot of it. And I think it's going to be the better material here. We'll do this. We'll do this. I'm intentionally leaving that gap at the sides. That's 100% intentional. And I guess this is also going to be wood. And I think that's okay. And then this is going to be a wall. And this is going to come out about 3. You're going to come out about 3. You're going to go there. And the question becomes, can I put a roof on that? So wooden roof, we want the half roof though. So wooden half roof goes like that. Does that work? Like what? What's the... Ooh, no, it needs to go back further. Okay. So we'll cancel you. And you can see what I'm trying to do here, right? We're going for like this weird looking building. It is very weird looking, but I think it'll be kind of cool. I don't know. I think it'll be kind of a cool looking building if we can pull this off. But it is going to need supported, so we're going to need to put a beam right about there. We'll put one there as well for symmetry. We'll go to here, rotate, do that. And it's looking like I'm not going to be able to go the entire way up to that bit of roof. And I think that's okay. Because I think what we'll do then is we'll just cancel all of this part and we'll just make it the same size it was going to be. Because I only extended it there because I thought I could get away with it. So 1, 2, 3 across to there. And in terms of a beam, the beam needs to go there, which is fine. And in terms of a roof, the roof needs to go there. Ooh, that's not going to be supported. Okay, so we'll do a couple of beams there. And then we'll do this guy again, going right about there. And that looks all right. It'll do the job. We are going to need to put a wall just along here, but it's going to be supported by that beam as well. And I guess it's just going to be a flat roof. I guess that's how it's going to be. Just a flat wooden roof up here, which I think is going to look a little weird, perhaps. Maybe a little bit gross, but there's not really a whole lot I can do about that. It's a weird looking building for sure. Very weird looking building, but I kind of like that about it, you know? Okay, and now we'll put the brewing stations in here. So we have one there, we have one there. We can do, let's see, down here as well, just in this lower floor right about there. And that's just going to be another 4 of them, which is pretty much what we have already. It's exactly what we have already. But that's fine by me. We could actually probably get a few more of these in here if I could get one more right in the middle if I really wanted to. I don't know that we need to though. What can this make again? Wine, ale, beer, and vinegar. Okay. Yeah, 1 for each is probably fine. Then what I'm thinking for upstairs, even though it's a brewery, might not be a bad idea to try and put, I guess, a stove up here. So a butchering table is one thing I want. When I say a stove, I mean a kitchen, actually, not just a stove. So a butchering table there with, I guess, some kind of hearth up here as well. So the hearth can go kind of there. And then what was the other thing we needed for this kitchen? It was 2 wall pottery shelves. So those are decorative. They're going to be in here, and it's going to be those guys. So bring the walls up a little bit. 1 there and there. And we'll do a couple just back there as well. And that'll be a bit of a kitchen, is what it'll be. So I do want to come in here. I want to grab a candelabra and I want to put it in that corner because I think it'll be nice. And in terms of additional lighting, I think it would probably be an idea to put one right about there as well. And that'll probably be enough for that space. As for downstairs, we could do, I guess, if it's going to let me there and there, will be pretty good. We can do one by the entrance as well. And I'll do one sort of there. Oh, I can't do one because there's a beam in the way. That's fine. We can do one tucked back there, I guess. And that'll be pretty good for lighting. And for the outside, I think we'll just go for a couple of these. Well, we'll go for one of these iron guys on that wall. So that'll kind of work out. And that'll be the brewery, I suppose. It is a weird looking building. It's a very weird looking building, but it'll do the job. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, we don't have limestone bricks, but we do have a good amount of limestone just laying around. So we should be fine. We have, I don't know how much we have laying around, but we have a bit. So I imagine we'll be all right. I probably should have just used limestone for the floors, to be completely honest, but whatever. What's done is done. We can get this whole thing built, hopefully in a good amount of time. Although I don't know how many people are actually, well, I guess they're all focusing on construction of these paths as well, aren't they? So it might actually take a minute. Plus, all of the clay brick going into the perimeter pathway is going to take a little bit as well. But there they go. They've got started, so no complaints from me. Hopefully, we do end up with a kitchen upstairs on that. Hopefully, the brewing section downstairs is going to be all right. And, well, hopefully it's going to be better than this, because this is a little bit miserable looking. And it also means we can actually get rid of this guy, too. So we can get rid of both of these rooms and hopefully turn them into something kind of decent. Actually, I am wondering one thing. Can I make... So I can make normal meals on this. So we can set this guy, this new kitchen thing down here. We can set that up to make normal meals. So this is actually, yeah, this is actually going to serve a pretty good purpose. It's not just for the fact that I wanted something that's, you know, going to serve as a brewery, which is already pretty much up and able to run. So let's do rough wine until we have, I don't know, 110, I guess, for each of them. Let's do ale until we have, I guess, 110 of that as well. Let's do beer until we have about 110 of that. And we'll get the vinegar going shortly once they get that thing built. This is actually coming together shockingly quickly. I'm not complaining, by the way. I know this whole episode has been complaining, but yeah, it's surprisingly fast. I'm not used to construction being quick on this game at all. It usually takes forever, but this is nice. It's a nice change of pace, quite literally a nice change of pace. Now, you're going to be vinegar. You're going to be until we have 75, I guess. I don't know if we're even using it, to be honest. So there we go. We'll get all that done. We'll get this built. We'll hopefully have some brewing going. In fact, with that new thing set up, I can say that we're going to demolish these guys and get them completely out of here. Which I think this one we can probably wait on because it's fermenting wine. And I don't think we want to waste the materials. To be completely honest, also research. What have we got? We're going to be going into research 3. All right. Well, that's going to mean that we need to get an advanced research table, which needs mechanical components, which means, oh boy, that means a lot of things. that means a few things. Oh boy, that's gonna suck making those. That is not going to be a fun process. Baudry, you're getting resources right now. Allison, you're going to sleep. That's fine. This thing is 96%. If it would hurry up and be 100, that'd be kind of great. So 98 and 99. And this is the most exciting commentary I've ever done. That's 100 right there. Let's demolish it and be done with it. And then, yeah, this thing will be together in no time at all. We'll have a brewery looking thing. And I'm excited for it. I'm absolutely excited for it. So I think what we'll do is leave it there for today. I think we've got a pretty good little fort going right here. We've got our moat. We've got our brewery. We've got the manor. We've got production sort of coming together. So I'm not complaining. I'm not criticizing, as I haven't been this entire video. Not once have I said anything remotely critical of this game. Not even not even if there's the fire. Not even if there's the fire. All right, yeah, we're gonna leave it there for today. Bye.